A challenge to a mayor born of the grassroots.
Accusations of pirates and spies as the NFL cracks down on bars showing blacked out Raiders games.
And tempers flare during a Contact 4 investigation into how some government money is spent in the Bay Area.
Live from the news leader in Northern California, News Center 4 at 6. Here's the very latest.
Tom Amiano, 44,539, 25.4%.
Celebration at City Hall. A last-minute candidate on a shoestring budget looks ready to take on the mayor of San Francisco next month. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Tokuda.
And I'm Pete Wilson. A whirlwind grassroots campaign has apparently paid off for Tom Amiano. As of this afternoon, Amiano has grabbed 25% of San Francisco's vote, while former Mayor Frank Jordan has sunk to 17%. That almost certainly puts the Board of Supervisors President, Amiano, into the runoff with Mayor Willie Brown. News Center 4's David Wright is live at San Francisco City Hall, where Amiano supporters are looking forward to the next interesting phase of the stealth campaign. David?
It keeps getting more interesting, Pete. And in these days of poll-driven politics, of election night coverage live and instant internet gratification, you forget almost the excitement that's generated when an election comes to an unusual and slow count. We've had 2 days of suspense here, so when the announcement finally came, it was a cathartic moment indeed. The count has not yet been entirely complete. There are 18,000 ballots still outstanding. Still, it is enough to virtually guarantee that Tom Amiano will be in the runoff against Willie Brown. And just on cue after the announcement was made, he entered the room and addressed his supporters.
This is quite a victory against corporate campaigning, and I think it's a kind of... I think it's the kind of participatory democracy that people in San Francisco have hungered for a long time, and I was happy to assuage their appetite, so to speak.
We've got to hand it to Supervisor Amiano and his supporters for running a pretty remarkable last-minute write-in campaign. I think at this point, he's got to step fully into the ring and not have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We'd like to see him debate Mayor Brown in each of the supervisorial districts so that the voters who've heard a lot about Supervisor Amiano as a possible candidate can now see what he stands for as a candidate.
It's a little bit disingenuous. Supervisor Amiano is a well-known public figure in San Francisco, but the debates will be interesting indeed. And as we mentioned, 18,000 votes still have to be counted. About 175,000 votes have been counted, so 10% still left outstanding. But Frank Jordan would have to get more than 15,000 of them just to catch up with Amiano, and we're told that 2,000 to 3,000 of those votes are write-ins, so they're presumably favoring Amiano.
Understand, David, 13 points isn't a great big divide between the incumbent and Tom Amiano. Does the mayor's office have a genuine fear of this candidate?
Well, this is the campaign that was the wild card all along. They were breathing a huge sigh of relief when Tom Amiano decided not to file as a conventional candidate in this race. And it's the first challenge that Willie Brown will ever face in his entire career from the left. He will be running as the conservative candidate. It's a position he's never been in before, and it'll be interesting to see how he fares.
It's no wonder why the rest of the country looks at us and says, Willie Brown, conservative. Thanks a lot, David.
Today, the NFL filed a lawsuit against 14 sports bars in California, 4 of them here in the Bay Area. The establishments are accused of making an end run around the league by showing Raiders games when they're not supposed to. News Center 4's Vic Lee joins us from Ricky's Sports Bar in San Leandro. He has a live report. Hi, Vic.
Good evening, Wendy. According to the NFL, this is the first time they've filed this kind of lawsuit in the Bay Area, although they have sued sports clubs in other parts of the country over the years. Now, 10 of those 14 clubs that were sued today are in the Sacramento area. 4, as you said, are here in the Bay Area, including this popular sports club, Ricky's. The NFL is charging that Ricky's and the other 3 bars illegally showed the Raiders-Bears game on September 26th, and possibly the Raiders-Broncos match October 10th, as well as the Raiders game against the Jets October 24th. All games that were blacked out in the Bay Area.
In most cases that we're talking about here, the bars were packed. Some of them had a significant cover charge, $10, $20 more, and then they sold the drinks and everything else. They made a lot of money off of this.
Ricky's is by far the most well-known of the 4 bars charged. About a 10-minute drive from the Coliseum, it's an old hangout for Raiders fans, and it's usually jam-packed on game days. The other 3 bars named in the suit are Zeke's in San Francisco, the Time Out Sports Bar in Concord, and the Flatiron Bar in San Rafael. Under NFL rules, games that are not sold out 72 hours in advance cannot be televised in the club's home territory. One NFL official told News Center 4 they were tipped off by other bars in the area who said they were losing business on Sundays because of their competitors' alleged violations. The NFL then sent investigators dressed as Raiders fans to the 4 bars to gather evidence. The lawyer for Ricky's Bar, Eric Farber, told News Center 4 his client did nothing wrong. Farber then lashed out against the NFL's blackout rule.
If the Raiders are trying to put people in the seats, and they're using the blackout rule to say that if we broadcast every game, then people won't go to the games, and I think that's incorrect. I think that they would, by actually showing the games, they would create interest through the community and more people actually go to the games.
And Wendy, the NFL means business. Over the past 5 years, the league has sued about 150 sports bars all across the country, and they've won every one of them. And their most recent victory came in Ontario, Canada, when they sued 3 bars for showing Buffalo Bills games, and they won a judgment of $300,000. So they do mean business. Back to you.
Ooh, okay, Vic, thank you very much for that report. And also, still ahead in the newscast, we're going to tell you about Oakland's big push to get Super Bowl XXXVIII.
Think that would be blacked out if there weren't? An embarrassing break in security at San Francisco's Juvenile Hall. A 17-year-old murder suspect is on the loose tonight. News Center 4's Greg Lyon is in San Francisco with a live update on this story. Greg?
Pete, this was no ordinary escape. This was a case of someone on the outside helping a young man who had a very good reason to want to get away. Richard Antolin was facing a deadline. He was in Juvenile Hall, accused of murder in a gang-related shooting, but his life was about to get a lot tougher.
He was scheduled to have a trial in adult court, or his next trial, on November 30th, I believe, and he will also reach age 18 on Saturday of this week.
On Saturday, he was scheduled to be transferred to adult jail. But last night, before that could happen, someone engineered a bold escape. This access road behind Juvenile Hall is technically city property, but is completely open. Anyone could get in here, and that's exactly what happened. Someone apparently got in with bolt cutters and cut the fence here.
The perimeter fence was cut, as was a fence on an internal caged-in area inside of that. So we had 2 feet of fences which were breached, and as a result of those breaches, this young man was able to escape and is now at large.
It was the first escape from inside the facility in 4 or 5 years, according to Chief Probation Officer Jesse Williams, the man in charge, a man who was clearly upset.
On the surface, it is clearly a violation of policy. What I can't discern for you right now is whether or not there is any rational explanation for that, although at this point I can't fathom what it might be. But again, we have to look into the facts, document the facts, and then take action according to what we're actually able to substantiate.
Now, Chief Williams was doubly angry because there was another escape from the parking lot here 4 days ago. A 17-year-old named Eli Freeman was being brought here from San Francisco General Hospital, supposedly in shackles. But when he got here, when the vehicle doors were opened up, he had gotten the shackles off and he bolted, and he is still at large, Pete. So technically, I suppose he was not yet in custody of the folks here at San Francisco's Juvenile Hall, but it's embarrassing nonetheless. Pete?
Embarrassing, I guess, would be the word, Greg. Thanks a lot for a live report tonight. Still no sign, by the way, of the inmate who escaped from the Santa Clara County Jail a week ago. 26-year-old Peter Flores used a hacksaw and a rope of 18 bed sheets to lower himself to freedom from that window. See it? Corrections officers say they were distracted by fellow inmates who were causing a disturbance.
Some of the other stories we've been following around the Bay Area during the last 24 hours. Score one for the dairy industry. The price of a gallon of milk is going to stay at $1.69. Today, a judge agreed that prices should not be cut, at least for now. The State Department of Food and Agriculture is trying to lower prices by 20 cents and plans to appeal. Ted Kaczynski's publisher has pulled the Unabomber's book, Truth versus Lies, off the presses. Kaczynski's book deal went south over some last-minute legal issues with the publisher, which is called Context Books. The publisher says the dispute centers on letters the company received from Kaczynski. Context Books wouldn't disclose the content of those letters. Some of the commuters riding BART home from work are experiencing a little extra peace of mind tonight. Police cadets are available again to escort people walking home or to their cars from Oakland's Fruitvale and the Rockridge stations. BART's escort service kicks in every year after daylight savings time when darkness falls an hour earlier.
Lots more still ahead in News Center 4's News Hour. Oakland says it's ready to host the biggest game in professional sports.
San Jose discovers a Y2K problem that could mean the difference between life and death.
And still ahead, emotions run high as Contact 4 reporter Joe Ducey begins asking questions about Bay Area housing programs.
Tonight, it's the biggest friends of the season.
I'm gonna miss you so much.
Rachel and Monica's last night living together.
Now you have to leave. And I have to live with a boy!
And yes, Jesse and Diego are together again. And again, and again. And somebody get a hose. Then, Frasier wants her, Niles wants her. He thinks he's using her to get to her. He doesn't know that he really wants her and not her. Get it?
Just try to keep up. It's not that complicated.
Really? All new must-see TV, NBC tonight.
Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help! You know I need someone. Help!
Now there's an internet search engine that can actually help you find what you're looking for, with all the best stuff on the internet organized into logical, helpful categories. So don't just look, look smart. Looksmart.com.
Won't you please, please help me, help me, help me.
Good morning.
Ow. Who said that?
Hey, right up here, next to this poor neglected jug of orange juice.
You're a leftover ham sandwich.
That's correct, and don't you realize that the American Cancer Society says foods like Florida orange juice may help in the fight against cancer?
The American Cancer Society says that? How do you know all this?
What else am I going to do? I sit up here and I read the labels. You know, the light goes on, the light goes off. That's pretty much my day.
100% pure Florida orange juice. Are you drinking enough?
Kim Smith with another in our series of best bargains. Take a look. Exquisite accent pieces, frames, crystal. Everything you see here is from one store. Ross. Unbelievable. And even more unbelievable are the prices. I know I've seen this for a lot more money. In fact, Ross saves you up to 60% compared to department stores. And look at this great bedroom. When it comes to items for the home, Ross is definitely a best bargain.
Going in a straight line is one issue, and most people, when they think of speed and power plants, think of the fact is you're going fast and slow, and you're turning in the process of doing it. The new Altima has been redesigned with that in mind. We refined the suspension, we reduced the body roll, we goosed the engine. Technically speaking, we gave the car some
Politics and football go together in the Bay Area. Well, politics go with almost anything here, but this is sort of like Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Now an East Bay effort to bring the Super Bowl to the Coliseum in 2004. Would the payoff be worth the price?
Getting the big event to the Coliseum would be expensive. The county is still smarting from the cost of bringing the Raiders back to Oakland. News Center 4's Joe Oliver joins us live from Oakland with the pros and the cons. Joe?
Wendy, first of all, imagine adding 10,000 seats to the west side of the Networks Association Coliseum. That's how many seats they would need in order to host a Super Bowl here. This all got started when Mayor Willie Brown decided not to upgrade Candlestick Park for $20 million so it could host the Super Bowl in 2003. Oakland officials tried to step in and realized they couldn't do 2003, but what about 2004?
Picked off that time by Carlton Williamson.
Stanford Stadium, 1985, when the San Francisco 49ers defeated Miami in Super Bowl XIX. Who would have believed it would take at least 2 decades to get the Super Bowl back to the Bay Area?
I want everybody in this room to think of Oakland as #1, not 2, not 3, or not 4. And if you can't, let me think for you.
Xenophon Abraham told the Oakland Alameda County Joint Powers Authority that he believes Oakland has what the NFL wants in a Super Bowl city.
When you're talking about the Super Bowl, you're not talking about a football game, but an American popular cultural event. So the National Football League is concerned about how that product is going to be shown to America and in the world.
To get the Coliseum ready for a Super Bowl, it would mean, among other things, adding 10,000 temporary seats to the Coliseum, expanding the press box to accommodate 300 journalists, and expanding game day staff from 800 to 2,400. Earlier this week, Abraham showed the NFL Super Bowl Policy Committee how it would be done and what the Bay Area already has in place to provide the best backdrop for a Super Bowl. 50,000 hotel rooms across the Bay Area, the BART AC transit and ferry systems to get people from their rooms to the Network Associates Coliseum. Oakland's Jack London Square as the site of the NFL playland.
The job for us is not just the techniques of producing a bid package that includes X number of hotels, a refurbished Coliseum, lining up corporate sponsors, but most importantly, it's getting people to believe that the Super Bowl should be here.
Do you think Oakland should host the Super Bowl in 2004?
Why not Oakland? I mean, it's a very cosmopolitan city. We've got a lot to offer.
I don't know if it'd be a good thing for Oakland right now. I mean, since they can't sell out the Coliseum as it is.
Absolutely, if San Francisco cannot. I believe we should have a Super Bowl here in the Bay Area. I'm all for it.
Now, it would cost $70,000 to $100,000 just to make a bid to get the Super Bowl here. It would cost $14 million to put on the Super Bowl. However, experts say it could bring $300 million into the Bay Area economy if Super Bowl XXXVIII is held here. Now, they're waiting for a formal invitation to make a bid to the NFL Super Bowl Policy Committee. They hope to get that letter in the next couple weeks. The formal bid would be made sometime in May of next year. Wendy, back to you.
Interesting stuff. Okay, Joe, thank you.
Sometimes it's the little things that make the difference. And in the case of the city of San Jose and Y2K, the fire department had to make some last-minute changes to some vital equipment, part of a $10 million citywide Y2K effort. High-tech business reporter Jim Goldman has the story from our San Jose News Center.
Y2K could be $1 trillion problem, but it's the little things that may be a matter of life and death.
Patches that go on the patient.
Like this small, portable, $21,000 heart defibrillator the San Jose Fire Department uses as many as 400 times a year. 400 lives that depend on this technology. Technology that could have stopped working altogether come January 1st.
There is an embedded computer chip that actually operates the defibrillator.
A chip that could have failed in the new millennium if not for a last-minute software patch the manufacturer had to come up with. The city of San Jose bills itself as the high-tech capital of the world, so it only stands to reason that this area would be very well prepared for Y2K. But it hasn't been easy.
Equipment's fixed, ready to operate.
Mark Burton is San Jose's Y2K czar. He says getting ready for Y2K wasn't cheap.
The city's committed over $10 million to Y2K.
Much of that money was spent right here at the San Jose International Airport. There are thousands of systems here, and everything needed to be checked for Y2K. Just about everything around here has a chip inside of it, from elevators to baggage claim, not to mention air traffic control.
We've devoted 10,000 staff hours to this project, and we've expended approximately $6 million.
It sends out the waves and it bounces off.
Even the San Jose Police Department had to check everything, not the least of which are these chip-based radar guns.
Picks up the frequency of these, I guess, bouncing back and forth.
A low-tech tuning fork tells cops whether they're working, and before you get too excited, radar guns like these will be working come January 1st.
As far as I know, well, haven't had any problems yet.
$10 million to get the city ready may seem like a lot of money, but the capital of Silicon Valley says it's a small price to pay for electronic peace of mind. In San Jose, I'm Jim Goldman, News Center 4.
Some of the other stories making news around California during the last 24 hours. A new lighter weight bulletproof vest invented by a former Oakland police officer was tested today at a range in Oceanside. Kenneth Betancourt says that his vest, containing 4.5 pounds of steel plates, can stop rounds from AK-47s. And in the test today, it seemed to pass with flying colors. Betancourt is trying to market that vest to police agencies right now. An unusual sight at the former Rancho Seco nuclear power plant near Sacramento. Workmen climbed a ladder 42 stories high to change the aircraft warning light bulbs at the top of one of the cooling towers. Guess what? Next week they changed the bulbs on the other tower. The power plant was taken offline years ago, but they still need the lights.
That would be a bonus wage situation.
That would
for
be a
me.
hazard
to
pay.
get me up there, hazard pay, serious hazard
Big
pay.
hazard pay.
Up next, Steve's going to talk about chances of rain for this coming weekend.
North Beach Institution says it's about to hang up its wigs and dresses, and then this.
So you thought that actually buying a HUD house would be better protection than buying any other home?
Correct.
But look around. Henry Kwan asks why his San Pablo home price includes new bathtubs when his are old, a poorly wired light fixture, and outlets that just don't work.
There's no power here.
No power?
Frasier invites over his fan club.
We know you from the magazine. Oh, how creepy. Do come in.
It's a big party.
We'll wait for everyone else to come.
This is the fan club, the three of us.
On Frasier. Tonight at 7 on Channel 4.
For the first time, E.T. takes you inside the top-secret Scientology Center in Hollywood. Then lost scenes from The Way We Were.
It killed me to have those 2 scenes taken out.
Exclusively on E.T.
Join us tonight at 7:30 on Channel 4.
I need help here.
What?
The hotel in China. They need our reservation system in Chinese.
I write Java.
Do a Unicode upgrade.
Unicode?
Charlie, go Earthweb.
Earthweb?
Earthweb's 20 technical sites serve nearly 2 million people like you every month. We deliver real answers to hard questions and the IT job leads you need to move up in your career. The first time you go Earthweb, though, its power and speed may surprise you.
Unicode, no sweat. Go to developer.com, the code guru section.
My article on multi-byte character set.
Steps you through C++ coding and debugging.
So you can add, say, Chinese.
Try it.
欢迎您格莱格先生.
Somebody needs 39 contractors. It's a dice job. Let's go.
Go Earthweb. Go further, faster. To win this Hummer and go anywhere on Earth, go Earthweb now.
The new Sonata from Hyundai, with the freedom of America's best warranty.
It's coming. There's no getting away. It's almost here.
Thanksgiving! Where's everyone gonna sit? Where's everyone gonna sleep?
Visit the pre-holiday sale at Breuners today, and you can have a selection of in-stock furniture delivered before Thanksgiving Day, guaranteed. And if that doesn't scare you into Breuners pre-holiday sale, you'll also get special financing. It's the pre-holiday sale at Breuners. Be there.
Now, meteorologist Steve Raleigh with the Bay Area's online weather.
I love this shot from just a couple hours ago. It really shows the levels of the atmosphere. You can see the fog that's around there, the low clouds, and then a little clearing, and then some of the other clouds that have developed kind of in the middle of the atmosphere. Kind of a neat little atmospheric sandwich, as we termed it earlier. Hi, folks. As we get you started with the forecast headlines, the story is we'll have a few clouds around here of differing varieties. We'll get a nice start to the weekend tomorrow on Friday, but we have a little wet finish for you on Sunday. Let's talk about the specifics. Your forecast first. Tonight, heading outside, well, you'll see a little fog and low clouds developing along the bay in the next few hours, along with some of that mid-level stuff, too. Temperatures into the 50s over the next few hours. What about the temps from earlier today? Let me show you how things went. San Francisco, 68 is a high today. Went on the other side of things, Fairfield at 82. Concord, Livermore, 79 degrees. Pretty mild and nice out there. San Jose at 72. San Rafael on the other side of the bay at 75. Oakland at 70 degrees. So I talked about a wet finish. Let's talk about the rain just for a second, or at least take a look at things. You know, we're actually somewhat behind. I know it's early in the rainy season, but you'll notice by the percentages of normal, we're really kind of behind. But look at San Jose. would take a good 1.5 inches in this next time around. We're not going to see that much as we go into the weekend. Let's talk about that wet stuff. We're going to see some extra clouds from this first frontal system as it starts rolling in here tomorrow. But the bulk of the energy is all going to the north. That's where the real rain will happen. Up here behind my shoulder, this area, this cold area of low pressure, is the one that will probably give us the rain. Not probably, will give us the rain. Because watch what happens. The front goes to the north. Here comes that other low settling down by Sunday evening right off the coast. So we'll start seeing some rain Sunday evening, and then we'll end it on Monday. So that period from, let's just give you a window of like 6 p.m. Sunday night to 6 a.m. or 10 a.m. on Sunday. That's when we're going to see some of the rain. At least that's the way we see it right now. Some of those hours will change as we go through the weekend. So stay with Lisa as she kind of updates you through the weekend. But there's the outlook. Speaking of outlook, here's the way it looks across the state when it comes to rain. I thought this would be worth showing you because of Sacramento and Los Angeles, and then San Diego as well. You'll see how far and how dry it is across the state as well. Listen, your getaway Friday tomorrow across the state looks pretty good. There's the nice start to the weekend with just a few clouds around Eureka and sunshine in most spots. As for the Bay Area, we're looking for some low clouds in the morning. No surprise there. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s as you get out the door to start the morning. Then as we go through the day, you'll see the fog start to pull back, be right at the coast. And we'll see some sunshine, mostly sunny skies in the Bay Area tomorrow. As for the temperatures, a little cooler than we had it today, so we'll see some 60s and some 70s up to about the mid-70s in the warmest spots. So that's kind of that influence of some of the clouds that are rolling in here early. And here's the extended forecast, show the whole weekend then. We start dropping the temperatures going into Sunday. And as I mentioned, here comes the rain. Should be about what we had the first rain about a week and a half ago there. And so it looks like pretty nice little rain coming up for the end of the weekend. But I think 3/4 of the weekend looked good for everybody's plans too. All right, there you go.
Sounds good.
Okay, guys.
Hey, Steve.
In the words of San Francisco's poet laureate, what a drag. Lawrence Ferlinghetti's appropriate response to news that Finocchio's is closing, a fixture in North Beach. The nightclub has presented female impersonators for 63 years, long before drag shows were a dime a dozen in San Francisco. But the rent is going up, so the wigs and false eyelashes are coming off. On November 27th, Finocchio's is closing its doors. It has remained a big tourist attraction for a long time around here.
Still ahead in the second half of News Center 4. A deal on some Bay Area homes that seemed too good to be true, and maybe it was. A contact for investigation coming up.
They're hard to miss. .com companies spending millions in advertising in search of internet gold.
A job so big they had to have a lottery in order to bring their kids to work today. I'm Mark Jones. I'll have the story coming up on News Center 4.
Daybreak, daybreak, sleep all night, need news from my day.
Daybreak, beginning at 5 on Channel 4. That should be enough to get you started.
Women and fitness. It's all on women.com.
Thanks for making Aleve. For almost 5 years, I had a hard time walking. I went from doctor to doctor, but even after surgery, I had some pain. Tylenol worked for a while, then quit, and the pain came back. Finally, a doctor suggested Aleve. Within a week, I was dancing all night like I hadn't done in years.
Aleve can stop pain all day with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that.
Now people say I'm a walking advertisement for Aleve.
All day strong, all day long.
Women and careers. It's all on women.com.
November 20th is National Family Volunteer Day. If you don't like your family, you can volunteer with someone else's family. Call 1-800-VOLUNTEER.
Papa Murphy's Large Combo. Our premium combo starts with nearly a pound of freshly grated cheese piled high on our fresh crust. Only Papa Murphy's adds this much premium salami and pepperoni. Lots of sausage, premium white mushrooms, black olives, and onions top it off. It weighs over 4 pounds. It's what a combo pizza ought to be. And right now it's just $9.99. Whoa.
Papa Murphy's, take and bake.
All the premium taste without the premium price.
Get ready to start saving because Safeway is slicing 20% off your total purchase of everything in the produce department. That's 20% off crisp apples, juicy oranges, ripe tomatoes, and everything else in the produce department. Just fill your specially marked produce bag. And when you use your Safeway Club card now through November 9th, you'll save 20% during the Safeway Club Produce Sale. Hurry in today.
They come without warning, often with devastating consequences. For information on how to prepare yourself and protect your loved ones, call this number.
Live from the news leader in Northern California, News Center 4 at 6. Here's the very latest.
I'm Pete Wilson.
And I'm Wendy Tokuda, and checking our top stories tonight, it's not official, but it's looking like a pretty sure thing that Mayor Willie Brown will face write-in candidate Tom Amiano in a runoff election for San Francisco mayor next month. Amiano, who spent about $20,000 in his 20-day run, called it a victory against corporate campaigning. A Brown spokesman said that the mayor is looking forward to debating Amiano on the issues. 18,000 ballots, by the way, still have to be counted. The NFL is getting ready to penalize Bay Area bar owners for allegedly broadcasting blacked out Raiders games. The lawsuit filed today said 14 bars in Northern California, including 4 here in San Francisco, violated a rule that games cannot be broadcast within 75 miles of Oakland when the game isn't sold out. The other 10 bars are in the Sacramento area. And Seattle police are no closer to identifying or capturing the gunman who killed 2 people and wounded 2 others yesterday inside a boat repair shop. One of the survivors said he'd never seen the man before, and no words were exchanged before the shooting. Late last night, police detained a man in Tacoma, but later on, he was released.
We've all heard how tough it can be to buy an affordable home in the Bay Area. Tonight, Contact 4 investigates how a government program designed to help people get into homes has left several first-time buyers wondering what's happened to their homes and their money. Joe Ducey joins us now with a story you'll see only on News Center 4. Joe.
This HUD program has a lot of benefits, but it also involves many millions of dollars in the Bay Area. It's how that money's spent and who's watching it that has some homeowners complaining the people responsible aren't doing their jobs.
Hi, Mr. Luger. Hi, I'm Joe Ducey with Channel 4.
Okay,
yeah.
We're not interested.
Well, we came here wanting to know why you were here in the first place.
We're not interested.
Is this a problem? Hey, don't touch the photographer.
Okay,
get your camera, get your hands off the photographer.
Why is this building inspector so upset? To understand that, you first need to see what we saw.
No, it won't stay closed.
Faulty cabinets, rotting wood.
All of my linoleum is popping up.
Paulina Williams has been trying to get problems repaired in her Oakland home since she moved in, but says no one's listening.
Well, I was angry for a long time, for a whole year.
We've been trying for 2 years to get a house.
In Concord, Ken and Kathleen Bewley have lists of incomplete work and say they can't get proper repairs. Now a gas leak.
PG&E came out yesterday, and we've got a leak in our wall.
They bought older homes, didn't expect new, but they also bought them through a government program, through Housing and Urban Development. So who would expect phantom electrical outlets?
They just put a cover on it. There was no wires, no electricity. No electricity even going to it.
It sounds like a great program. HUD buys foreclosed, rundown properties and sells them to nonprofit groups. The groups take out government-insured loans, fix up the properties, and then sell them to happy first-time home buyers for a decent price. Instead, some homeowners, like the man who lives here, say they're stuck with shoddy work, incomplete repairs, and they don't know where all their money went.
So you thought that actually buying a HUD house would be better protection than buying any other home?
Correct. But look around. Henry Kwan asks why his San Pablo home price includes new bathtubs when his are old, a poorly wired light fixture, and outlets that just don't work.
There's no power here. No power?
Contact 4 had asked MD Electric to inspect Kwan's complaints.
Here, you don't have a ground in the box, so you should have a 2-prong outlet, not a 3-prong.
Records also show Kwan paid for insulation that should have been blown into all exterior walls. To double check, Henry hired an insulation expert who could only find new insulation blown into about half of the house, existing insulation in the rest. It's so upsetting to homeowners because they paid for complete jobs. Records show $36,000 in renovations was added to Henry's home price. $49,000 was spent to rehab the Bewley's home. $45,000 for Paulina Williams' property.
None of these switches work.
We took homeowner complaints to the man they say is responsible, David Ziegler. Although HUD requires the nonprofit group to be in charge, in these cases it's Ziegler who seems to pull all the strings, as broker, as contractor. So we showed him what we saw.
We try to do things to please our clients, and the majority of them are very pleased with the work and the extra work that we do.
Ziegler showed us letters from dozens of happy HUD homeowners. He and his public relations rep told us he's been responsive. He's made repairs over and above his responsibility, and he wants to take care of remaining problems. On that list, new upper kitchen cabinets for Paulina Williams. Records show she paid for them. We found her old cabinets had just been repainted. Then there's the back fence. It doesn't even follow her property line.
See, it's not on my price, but even with my garage, see how they got it in a bowl to go back? See? So they took off like a feet or 2 feet of my property that I need back.
That's how they built the fence, because there was garbage on the other side, so they built around the garbage and took 2 feet off her property. I mean, that's, you know, why?
I don't know.
They said everything is ready.
These homeowners wonder who's looking out for them, and everyone they deal with seems connected.
We do have a responsibility. And
in nearly 800 of these HUD properties, Ziegler is real estate broker. He's also the contractor responsible for renovations. And in almost every case, the same lender, Golden Home Mortgage, is involved. In fact, the lender's office is located in the same complex as Ziegler's New American Realty office in Concord.
We've done 800 of these. We have 750 that will tell you this was a great lender.
And Ziegler has another close connection to Golden Home.
She's one of the loan officers for Golden Home Mortgage.
And is she related to you, or
no?
Is she your fiance?
Yes.
That it should not happen. We demand that there be an arm's length relationship between all the parties in order to protect both the taxpayers and the homeowners.
That's stated in HUD regulations, and the agency relies on the nonprofit group as watchdog. But HUD seems to depend most heavily on the inspector.
They approve the money coming out.
The inspector makes sure work's done right and the money is spent properly. And we're talking about a lot of money. In HUD documents obtained by Contact 4, Ziegler's been responsible for $84 million worth of home sales in this program and $18 million worth of renovations. And that's just in the last 4 years.
It's very, very simple.
But in these cases, not only is Ziegler broker, contractor, and the same lenders used, so is the same inspector, Dale Luger of NBI, the man we first showed you at the beginning of this story. We caught up with him at Paulina Williams' house.
Well, we came here wanting to know why you were here in the first place.
Keep your hands off the camera, sir.
Keep your camera off me.
We have nothing in your face. Get out of the way.
Keep your camera off of me.
You are going to hurt this gentleman.
Okay?
He did nothing to
I said,
you.
Keep your camera off of me.
That's all you have to say, sir.
Okay.
Did you sign off on the reports to begin with?
None of your
Did you not sign off on the reports? Luger wouldn't answer our questions.
You're basically the broker. You've got the soon-to-be relative at the lender. You've got the same inspector. I mean, it just seems like it's stacked up against the consumer in case there's a problem with any of these people.
Right. On the contrary, this is to the consumer's benefit. There's nothing that says that the nonprofit can't use the same lender or the same realtor for more than one transaction.
Okay. But now you're talking about hundreds of transactions. Are you pushing the limit?
No, sir.
In fact, these HUD papers show Ziegler has pushed for an even bigger share of the HUD program. HUD wouldn't talk specifically about these homes, but did express alarm.
The things that were not done appear to us to be wrong. But it's not at all what we would consider to be a good situation for people. It's not what we would approve doing.
So while the HUD program helps a lot of people find homes, home buyers we talked with wonder if it's all been worth it.
And they know a lot of us never owned a home, so we didn't know what to look for or whatever. When we moved up in here, we just took it as it were.
Sometimes we sit there, she starts crying at night, and sometimes we wish we just wouldn't even have did it, but we...
And today, a Concord City inspector at the Bewley's home says David Ziegler did not pull the proper permits for some of the work. Meanwhile, HUD says it's investigating all parties involved. There is some good news. After Contact 4 got involved, homeowners are finally seeing some progress. Tomorrow at 6, we'll show you what's happened since, and we'll question HUD's role as watchdog in these programs.
Really interesting story.
Good
really
story.
Is.
Well done.
More tomorrow.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't even know this was going on. We thank you, sir. Breaking news to bring you now, an Amtrak train derailment happened within the past hour.